Hotel Metropole, Vienna, February 3rd, '98. Dear Joe, there's that letter that I began so long ago. You see how it is. Can't get time to finish anything. I pile up lots of work, nevertheless. There may be idle people in the world, but I'm not one of them. I say private up there because I've got an adventure to tell, and you mustn't let a breath of it get out. First, I thought I would lay it up along with 1,000 others that I've laid up for the same purpose, to talk to you about, but those others have vanished out of my memory, and that must not happen with this. The other night, I lectured for a Vienna charity, and at the end of it, Livy and I were introduced to a princess who is aunt to the heir apparent of the imperial throne. A beautiful lady with a beautiful spirit, and very cordial in her praises of my books, and thanks me for writing them, and glad to meet me face to face and shake me by the hand. Just the kind of princess that adorns a fairy tale and makes it the prettiest tale there is. Very well. We long ago found that when you are noticed by supremacies, the correct etiquette is to go within a couple of days and pay your respects in the quiet, simple form of writing your name in the visitor's book kept in the office of the establishment. That is the end of it, and everything is squared up and ship-shape. So at noon today, Livy and I drove to the Archducal Palace and got by the sentries all right, and asked the grandly uniformed porter for the book, and said we wished to write our names in it. And he called a servant in livery and was sending us upstairs, and said Her Royal Highness was out but would soon be in. Of course, Livy said, No, we only want the book. But he was firm and said, You are Americans? Yes. Then you are expected. Please go upstairs. But indeed we are not expected. Please let us have the book, and Her Royal Highness will be back in a very little while. She commanded me to tell you so, and you must wait. Well, the soldiers were there close by. There was no use trying to resist. So we followed the servant up. But when he tried to beguile us into a drawing-room, Livy drew the line. She wouldn't go in, and she wouldn't stay up there either. She said the princess might come in at any moment and catch us, and it would be too infernally ridiculous for anything. So we went downstairs again, to my unspeakable regret, for it was too darling a comedy to spoil. I was hoping and praying the princess would come and catch us up there, and that those other Americans who were expected would arrive, and be taken for impostors by the portier and shot by the sentinels. And then it would all go into the papers and be cabled all over the world and make an immense stir and be perfectly lovely. And by that time the princess would discover that we were not the right ones, and the minister of war would be ordered out, and the garrison, and they would come for us, and there would be another prodigious time, and that would get cabled too, and, well, Joe, I was in a state of perfect bliss, but happily, oh, so happily, that big portier wouldn't let us out. He was sorry, but he must obey orders. We must go back upstairs and wait. Poor Livy, I couldn't help but enjoy her distress. She said we were in a fix, and how were we going to explain if the princess should arrive before the rightful Americans came? We went upstairs again, laid off our wraps, and were conducted through one drawing-room and into another, and left alone there, and the door closed upon us. Livy was in a state of mind. She said it was too theatrically ridiculous, and that I would never be able to keep my mouth shut, that I would be sure to let it out, and it would get into the papers, and she tried to make me promise. Promise what? I said. To be quiet about this? Indeed I won't. It's the best thing that ever happened. I'll tell it and add to it, and I wish Joe and Howells were here to make it perfect. I can't make all the rightful blunders myself. It takes all three of us to do justice to an opportunity like this. I would just like to see Howells get down to his work and explain and lie and work his futile and inventionless subterfuges when that princess comes raging in here and wanting to know. But Livy could not hear fun. It was not a time to be trying to be funny. We were in a most miserable and shameful situation, and if just then the door spread wide, and our princess and four more and three little princes flowed in. Our princess and her sister, the Archduchess Marie Therese, mother to the imperial heir and to the young girl, Archduchesses present, and aunt to the three little princes. And we shook hands all around and sat down and had a most sociable good time for half an hour. And by it turned out that we were the right ones and had been sent for by a messenger who started too late to catch us at the hotel. We were invited for 2 o'clock, but we beat that arrangement by an hour and a half. Wasn't it a rattling good comedy situation? Seems a kind of pity we were the right ones. It would have been such nuts to see the right ones come and get fired out, and we chatting along comfortably, and nobody suspecting us for impostors. We send lots and lots of love. Mar.